Hello Nation, and welcome back to another Saturday night live stream here on the Big Bear Homestead. Well, this is the time while Robin and I are running around trying to get lights up and get everything, get the tea and get our hair did and all the other stuff that Robin actually takes a bath and brushes her teeth before a live stream. Why? I don't know. But this is the time that we take the opportunity to shed a spotlight on one of our sponsors. And this week we're putting a spotlight on Gallagher. So we've been using Gallagher fencing for about a year now. We use their goat fencing, which is right here behind us. We use the chicken netting, and we also use the smart fence. Now we've done a product review video on the Gallagher smart fence system. We absolutely love that system. It's an absolute game changer for cows, pigs, pretty much any of your medium-sized to large livestock. Now that video will be on our end card at the end of the live stream once it's all been done and processed and everything. Also, we have a special link, an affiliate link with Gallagher. It'll be in the description, and the moderators will be posting it throughout tonight's show. We'd appreciate it if you go, even if you're going just to look, go through that link. That way Gallagher knows that you guys came from us. So I hope you guys enjoy the show tonight, and let's go. Pew, pew, pew. Pew, pew, pew. What's up, nation? How's everybody doing tonight?
How's it going, y'all?
How's it going, y'all? Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, YouTube is proud to bring to you the live stream champions of the world.
You're killing me.
I'm the Big Bear. She's the Mama Bear. And we are the Bear Homestead.
You kill me. Kill me. Like who even does that?
I get a lot of messages from people saying they are so happy that I am doing that again.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Yes,
they say, oh my gosh, you owe me a pair of headphones. You owe me earplugs.
I have actually had somebody message me and said, I bet you can't get louder.
Oh, I'm sure someone drank way too much coffee.
Who do we have in the house tonight? Dutch Off-Grid Homestead. Mama Z cooking in the Texas kitchen. Mimsy's Garden. Geeky Gardens. Seeding in the house.
What's up, Seeding?
Bumbling Acres.
What's up, Joe?
Woo! Everybody coming on in the hacienda. Into the room.
This light makes my eyes look like super green.
Because they are. Whoa, what'd you give me crazy eyes for? Like, they are super green. City girl. Jamie Lost Soul just wanted to drop by your channel and say hi. And your live stream, congratulations on your success. Money and blessings. See you and your family.
I don't know. Just keep an eye out for that one.
Right,
Hey, Green Gables.
Green Gables in the house.
You haven't even approached Marine Volume. There's
See,
your brother
that's what I'm
calling
saying.
you out.
That's what I'm saying. But I always get fussed at. Albany Mountain Homestead. What's going on? City Girl Country Heart. I have a itch in the back of my throat.
Mark says, I need hearing aids.
Yeah. Don't we all? What a week it has been. Let's see. We really didn't get any product out this week at all, really. Except for a couple of shorts.
Just one short.
One short?
Yeah. We were going to work on some things, but we had some things come up last weekend that kind of threw off our filming schedule, and so we weren't able.
Didn't either.
So we weren't able to do a whole lot to get it ready. It just kind of threw everything. Because really, we like to get a lot of our filming done on Saturday and Sunday. Mm-hmm. And because of the holiday weekend and everything else, and then we had some issues, it kind of just skewed everything.
It skewed up this last week, but it gave us the topic for tonight.
Yes, part of it.
Part of it. So I was just wondering why the criticism.
I appreciate the thank you. I do appreciate it. It's just we have been around YouTube for a while, and unfortunately, we have been the subject of some horrible troll attacks. And I apologize, I don't recognize your name. If you're new here, I'm sure that wasn't the greatest welcome.
Way to offend somebody.
But unfortunately, I am always very super protective about.
Good job, Robin.
Keep
giving it to her, Jamie.
And so I'm sorry.
Make her feel
apologize.
real bad.
But thank you. I appreciate that.
Make her feel bad. But don't go over the line.
Let's So yes, everything is fine. We had a very interesting week this week. We got a lot done this week now that I think about it, because you got your wood. You got your wood.
Family friendly.
Yeah. What are you looking at? Again. Have a good day.
Bye, Jamie. Have a nice time.
So, basically, this past week, we were kind of trying to run around to get videos together, and we don't want to force content. So, we kind of just worked on getting stuff done on the farm. Mm-hmm. And
hold on for just a second. Jamie, we have apologized. If you're going to keep up like this, my people with the wrench are going to boot you, because you are acting exactly. Never mind. It was already done because you kept on.
The reason
why she said that, you're acting exactly that way. So keep moving forward.
This is pre-recorded. It's too bright to be live. So we got.
It's because I'm a glowing ray of sunshine.
No, we have lighting that we were using it. We got out of using it. I guess when we organized everything again, we put them away.
We put them where they belong, and we couldn't find them. And so now
imagine
we found
that. So we had a I gave him the boot. So the week was just kind of, and I'm sure everybody probably dealt with this. I love all my peeps. Bye, Felicia. We had a real weird week bouncing back from Thanksgiving. Everybody probably felt this because come Wednesday, a lot of people didn't have to work, or if they did have to work, it wasn't, heavy work. And so then going back to work, or your regular routine Monday, is kind of, after being off for 3-4, I think Lauren over at Cattywampus was telling me she was off for like 5 days. So some people had a really long, interval where they weren't doing their normal routine. We got a lot done. We had preserved a bunch of stuff, canned a bunch of things. And hey, Mama Cher. And making videos was not really high on that list, trying to catch up on a bunch of stuff. So
well, that's not necessarily true. Okay, here's the thing. Robin loves to avoid confrontation and give the benefit of the doubt, and pretty much try to take the mountain and try to make it a molehill. And what happened was, and this leads us into
our first segment.
And we figured that that because of what happened to us this past week, we would kind of almost dedicate this entire show to this topic. And this topic...
Love you, D.
This topic is about neighbors, about how you behave as a neighbor, and about how your neighbors behave, and how to try to balance the scales is probably the best way to put it. The day after Thanksgiving, the day after, everybody in America sat around their table and thanked God for everything that they had and all the blessings that they had and everything like that. My neighbor, the one up front, for those of you that have been here, decided that since he gave all his thanks the day before, that when Gizmo was doing his job protecting our livestock, ran a feral dog off our property. And I guess Gizmo got turned around or something because he ended up
going around the fence line.
And coming back up to the gate. He was coming home. This guy decides to pull a weapon. He says it was a BB gun. Dessa, who's been around guns her entire life, told me that it was a shotgun. Okay? And proceeded to point it at Gizmo's head and was getting ready to shoot in the direction of my child. So, right then and there, he wasn't following any rules of gun safety. But that's a horse of a different color.
Hey, Teresa.
Ladessa was hollering for him. Robin was hollering for him.
Carol
was hollering for him. Matter of fact, Carol was over in that property coming this way, and I was hollering for him.
So there was no doubt that we were looking for said dog.
And it's not like that's the first time he ever saw said dog.
Right.
And so I proceeded, once we got Gizmo back, because he didn't shoot him. He didn't shoot him.
Because Ladessa was like, no, that's my dog.
All right. And I proceeded, and she told me what he did, so I proceeded to go up there. Now, I was hot. Okay? Because if I would have been standing there and that weapon would have been pointed in my direction, I'd have had mine, and I probably would have shot him. And I proceeded to say, so you were going to shoot my dog and possibly my child. And him and his wife proceeded to verbally attack. And so...
Yes. I love you, Josh.
So I proceed, I'm a decent neighbor and a decent human being until you come at me that way. Especially after you were blatantly in the wrong. Blatantly. And so we had words back and forth. He
had words.
Threatened us. He said, because I said, I don't think I'm the kind of guy that you really want to make mad. I said, especially when there's going to be no food in the grocery stores, I can help. And he said, oh yeah, things are going to get hard, and they're especially going to get hard for you.
Mary.
And so, I took that as, oh, okay, so you think you're going to come over here and take what I got.
Okay.
Noted. The law was called, we called them, because I wanted paperwork.
Just in case
anything else happened. I told them the flat out truth. I even said some of the things that I said could be considered threatening.
And this is where Jason gets himself in trouble, because had he not said anything, it wouldn't have been... I mean, it still wasn't a big deal, but Jason is honest, so it's like, Did he know he was messing with a Marine? No, apparently not.
And,
whatever.
And so, the cop went up there. I had a relationship with this particular officer from Elbert County. So he knows how open and honest I am. He knows how I am about when my animals get out, because my pigs have gotten out on his granddaddy's land. They told me not to worry about it, but I still went over there with a bag of seed and reseeded that part of the pasture. Even though nobody's living there.
Right. And they're not using the grass, so it's not like it's a big deal, but we still fixed it.
But I still fixed it. And so he proceeded to talk to my neighbor. And as they were talking, my neighbor, the neighbor looked at the cop and said, well, he's lucky about 2 weeks ago I didn't shoot that Rottweiler he's got, because he charged me and almost bit me in front of my sister. And the officer said, okay, really? And he goes, and he threatened us, and I think we want to press charges. And the officer said, I don't think you want to do that. He said, because it's a he said, she said kind of thing. And I'm telling you right now, what you're telling me, he's going to be able to blow holes all the way through it. And there's not going to be the DA will not take it to trial.
And
if he did, because you're buddies with him or something, there's not a judge that will see it. And if you get one to see it, you're going to lose. And then you open yourself up for a lawsuit, because he can get you for defamation of character. And so that guy didn't press charges because I threatened him, because the officer knew Apollo died 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So he knew that guy was flat out lying right then and there. So he assumes that it probably was a shotgun, not a BB gun. And basically he told me,
hey, Shayla,
that from now on, if I have any type of confrontation with that guy, he says anything to me, that I'm supposed to call them straight away. Mm-hmm. And so I thought it was over. I thought it was done. We go out to get some of our beef that we just brought home.
Sunday.
Now, anytime that we do something out here, anytime we process chickens, anytime that we do anything, they are out there in their yard just a-watching. When Sydney and Tori came over and we were doing stuff with the calf, they literally sat on the back porch and just watched. And so, Robin goes, well, our lifestyle is not particularly
normal. It's interesting. So sometimes people like to watch that.
Kind of interesting, and he may just be trying to take notes or something. Whatever. And so we unloaded all the beef. Now, we used to have all of our freezers in my wood shop. It was a nice, safe, what we thought was a nice, safe place. Well, long story short, we come out the next morning, my double doors were open, and we were missing some cube steak and some steaks. Probably just enough for somebody to, enough for somebody to carry that they think that it wouldn't go noticed. And so I didn't have any trail cameras up. I didn't think about it. I thought it was over. We didn't have any video surveillance set up out there or anything. So, we moved the freezers inside. I can't prove that it was him. It's awful convenient. But all my food now is locked, secured, can't get to. Shame on me for putting trust in neighbors, or in this particular type of neighbor. And so you have the scenario of a bad neighbor. What do you do when you have a bad neighbor? I was venting to Doc, my acupuncturist, and he told me it's almost a similar story. That when they were living before they moved out to the country.
Hey, Wanderlust.
This old merchant marine moved in to his neighborhood, and then he started buying up all the other little houses and stuff, and he started bringing in people that he wanted to bring. Mm-hmm. He had a foul mouth. I mean, he was basically a civilian sailor. That's kind of what a merchant marine is. Mm-hmm. And just got real kind of nasty. Well, Doc was well liked and well respected in the neighborhood, so they automatically, for some reason, this guy wanted to butt heads with Doc. Mm-hmm. And of course, they had words a couple of times, whatever. And it almost, Doc said it almost cost him his marriage because he wasn't going to back down, and his wife was saying, just
leave it alone.
Leave it alone. Leave it alone. He's like, no, this guy's not going to be a bully to me. Mm-hmm. And
most of you have seen Doc. He's not like this big burly guy. He's a wiry, so I can see that. And what's up, Copper Kettle?
And so, long story short, he said those type of people, they always, what goes around comes around, that karma, they get their one-ups or their one-comings or whatever. And he said this guy was prejudiced, just like my neighbor, as the day is long. Mm-hmm. So, Doc never sold that house. He rents it out, Section 8 housing.
Oh, heck yeah. That's awesome. Green Dream Project, what's up? He said, good reason to move to the middle of the desert, no neighbors.
And
well, we're gonna full circle it in just a second.
And so we had this big explosion that we, Robin and I gave it more power than we needed to. We gave that situation permission to, don't be tapping my foot. I'm saying we, because you didn't call it to my attention that I was giving it that power.
I accept full responsibility for not reeling you in.
There you
I'm
go.
Sorry.
All right, high five.
It's had him on edge all week, just so y'all know.
Well, you don't drop a nugget like that and act like you gonna come take what I got if things go sideways. And you're gonna give me this time to get ready?
Okay, so anyway,
dumping in a 5-pound bag is stupid.
Back that train up.
But
Crystal's so cute. She's like, whoa, wait, who's that goddess over there? I'm just gonna stare at Robin all night.
And so we gave this crazy situation. We gave this situation permission, and we gave this situation power to just basically kind of ruin our week. And that's why we didn't get any videos out for you, because we were more focused on getting the freezers in the house, getting this done, getting that done, trying to get stuff locked down, and cameras up here.
Hey, Mama Mitzi.
Cameras up there, and
we didn't film at all. We didn't get much of anything
B-roll
done. Yeah, we didn't get
it's trapping season. I don't have a single trap out yet. So that'll tell you, because trapping season.
Oh, that's right. It started on Tuesday.
It started on Tuesday.
Oh, crap.
I didn't put a single trap out yet.
Dang.
So that'll tell you how worked up I got. Mm-hmm. And so let's segue that, because
to Tuesday.
To I hurt my hand.
Wednesday.
Tuesday sometime. Monday evening, I hurt my hand sometime. I got a boo-boo on my hand.
You didn't do that with Crystal then?
What do you mean?
I thought that happened when the second part of the neighbors.
No, it happened before that.
Oh, okay.
It happened before that. And Doc just stabbed a teetotal fire out of it and everything. But that leads us into the cut, which then I put, dun dun dun, what essential oil did I put on it, Robin? I segued into it.
No, we're not done with talking about neighbors.
No, you said we were going to break it up, and the good part was going to be in the second half.
No, we were going to talk about Gallagher the second half. Wow, y'all. But we can segue and talk about the rest of it. That's fine. We can do that. So, yeah. So, what he's talking about is tea tree oil. So, we're going to go ahead and we'll talk about the essential oils part of the class. Oh, God, no, not peppermint. That would have hurt. Did you see Crystal's comment? Mm-mm. Shower boo-boo kisses. Southern Blessed, what's up? You look cute tonight. And Robin, too.
What's going on, Broussard?
He's calling you cute, and then you're going to make fun of his nose.
Who? No.
He did. He said, you look cute, and Robin too.
Who said that?
Brett.
Oh, he did?
And you just made fun of his nose.
Well, that's because the thing is huge.
Yours is not small either.
Huge.
His goes out, and yours goes out. Y'all are the perfect couple. I'm just saying. So, before we get into too much, Feather and Down Homestead has asked a couple of questions, and since we're kind of doing subject stuff, that kind of stuff kind of gets pushed off to the side, so I wanted to do it before we transitioned into the next one. Your buddy's in here.
What's up, Jack?
So one of the questions was, what homesteaders do we hang out with? Pretty much anybody who wants to hang out with us.
Why, you want to come hang out? We need adult friends.
And the other was, what is our next big project?
Who are you asking? Me or her?
I'll tell you what it is. What? Dee said, I'm setting vigil over my hens. Neighbors are stealing my eggs. No. That's a 12 gauge. With rock salt. But back to big projects. What would you say is our... I think the one that's really like impending like tomorrow is butchering a pig.
That's not a big project.
That's a big project for me.
That's not a big project. That is just...
Our charcuterie will be.
That's a project that'll take like half the day. To me, a big project is the one that is just weighing down on me.
So what is
like
your
a
big
house?
Okay, so what is your next big project?
I just hinted. It's the greenhouse.
Oh, yes. That's what I was going to say. It was the greenhouse.
I've got to get that greenhouse up and
yeah.
But the thing is because where we're putting it, I got to get this stump burned out I've been burning this stump for forever.
Get your beard under control. It is under control. It's just got this weird hole.
And then I've got to
naked gardeners.
I've got to dig out the area to be able to pour concrete. Well, really, I got to dig it out, lay pipe for the drainage, lay pipe for the water, and then put in the gravel, rebar, pour the concrete.
Do you remember how big that greenhouse was?
It was huge.
It's it's one that we had from
Harbor Freight.
Yeah.
It's the second largest one from Harbor Freight.
It's a decent sized one. So we don't need look at Mama always coming in here. What is up? We don't need a big huge greenhouse because a lot of the stuff that we want to grow, like we need it for like starts, but like what?
I love how you lie to yourself.
Why do you say that?
Okay. How many drawers, plural, with an S, of seeds do you have?
That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything at all. It really doesn't.
Really?
Yeah, it really doesn't.
Okay. How many flats of tomatoes?
How many actually made it?
We're not talking about it.
No. Okay, so let's talk about it.
How many did you start?
Let's talk about it.
How many did you start?
No, too many. Let's talk about it. I learned one really valuable lesson this year. It is not about quantity. It is about quality. When you start to plant all of your plants, you don't need 500,000 tomato plants. You don't. And I promise you, in the spring, when you see the spring videos for the garden, you will see that difference. You mean we have? No, I have. But the thing is that I've learned that I don't need, for one, with the tomatoes, I don't need 140 something plants. I don't. I don't need, like another good thing. We planted eggplant this year. I planted 4 plants, okay? The two of them were like the same variety, and the other 2 were 2 different varieties. Those 2 I'm not going to grow again. I will only grow the smaller ladyfinger, whatever they're, the small Ichiban or whatever they are, eggplant. Because there's no need for me to grow 5 million eggplant plants. And we know what we're going to do with all of them, but I don't need that many. And I think a lot of times we get, you don't need nearly as many plants as you think you do. So that's kind of where I'm at. Because that small area that we have in there for seed starting is plenty. Plenty. We don't need nearly as many as I started last year. I think I started last year just to say that I could, and it was a waste. It was. So.
Now, all y'all that's been around a while know Robin has 2 addictions in this world. Starting seeds and chickens. That's all I'm going to say. She's already talking about making us get a hoop house for...
Oh, no, not a hoop house. A high tunnel. Absolutely a high tunnel. Because I would love to be able to grow a lot of stuff in the fall / into the winter where we could protect, some of the, as far as frost goes, over some things. But, at the end of the day, I look out in our front yard right now, and
our front yard is amazing right now.
We have a lot of food growing in our front yard right now. A lot. And what's really cool about it is the stuff that we're not eating, I'm able to give to my animals, and they are thrilled to take it. Mm-hmm. So, we've been growing cabbages. We've got huge cabbage heads, but then there's those big, huge leaves that, start to get a little, they start to fall over, and they're not really useful for much. So we'll take those, and I give those, our pig, absolutely, she loves those. So, that's the thing is we're growing a lot, and I don't need 5 million plants of things, so, yarn stash. Look, I'll tell y'all.
Oh, Josh, I'm going to kick you right in the
No, all of it is in a tote. My husband put a bunch of my stuff in a tote because most of y'all that are in here are familiar when I did my temperature blanket. And after I did the temperature blanket, I was completely just wore out from crocheting. And then I didn't pick up crocheting until towards the end of last year before all of because we did a lot of conferences and stuff. So I was crocheting just to be able to make things and to sell. So then this year I have done none until the last, month maybe?
Well, you made that thing for that person.
So I made in the past month maybe I've started crocheting again. And I have fought the urge to go buy more yarn because all of my yarn is put away in totes because I haven't been using it. There's no point in it. So there's going to be a day where I'm going to have to get Jason to pull down the crates and let me kind of look through what I need and then put the rest of it away again. But
you know, she said that with an S.
But I haven't been doing that. So, all right. So Melaleuca. Melaleuca.
And I want to add one thing. When Robin was talking about our front yard, we ate our own Brussels sprouts for the very first time ever. Ever.
Yeah.
We've been doing this a long
13
time.
Years.
Okay? We're the very first channel to put homesteading videos out consistently on YouTube. That's how long we've been doing this. And we were doing it before YouTube. And we would fail miserably with Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts and cauliflower. They would kick our hindies. And carrots, too.
Good night, feathering down.
But we whooped up on... Well, we. whooped up on some carrots last year, and we got carrots going again this year.
Yeah, I've been watching you. You're so funny walking by the carrots. You're like...
Oh, yeah, I'm just waiting for one of them to look like they kind of get... Anyway, but we ate the Brussels sprouts for the very first time. I thought I loved Brussels sprouts before. And now we got little... Well, if you see our peekaboo short, we got little tiny little heads of cauliflower growing. Oh, I cannot wait for those, because I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to take one head, and I'm going to punch everybody else in the head, and I'm going to take it to my little secret place with some mayonnaise and ketchup and mix it all together, and that's poor folks' Thousand Island dressing. And so you mix that together, and then you dip the color.
I know we have 2 heads of broccoli that we got to keep an eye on them over the next couple of days, because they're just about ready to...
So I am super proud of Robin here. And I pick on her a lot because she does go, when she goes to do something, she goes all out. And I pick on her about the chickens, and I pick on her about her seeds, but we haven't gone to the grocery store in about a month now because of everything that she has grown this year.
Yeah, now that we have all of the meat situation pretty much covered, it's incidentals now, a little bit here and there kind of thing. So we're going to quickly go over Melaleuca, because it looks like a bunch of y'all that are in here probably already know a bunch of what I'm going to say. But Melaleuca / tea tree, I find it interesting. Within the last year or so, doTERRA used to call tea tree oil Melaleuca. And the reason for that is because that's the scientific name for tea tree oil. But it's more commonly known as tea tree. So how many of you are familiar with tea tree oil? Raise your hand if you've used tea tree or you've heard of it before.
And as you're raising that hand, smash that thumbs up button. Help us with the YouTube AI. Help us with that algorithm.
That algorithm. So, I love this oil. I'm not crazy about the smell of it. It's not my favorite smell. It is horrible as far as taste goes. It's kind of funny. This past week, Ladessa was like scrolling through our channel looking at stuff, and she found an old video where Grandpa's Farm had opened up the little package that they sent, and it was the same week he made the video, the same week that we had covered Melaleuca. And I don't know if you remember this, but you were going through some stuff at that point, and you had eaten the Melaleuca. And by the end of the show, you were like phased out, looked like you had had a stroke. I don't know if you remember, it was several years ago. And some of y'all may remember this, some of y'all might not. But Aaron, what's up? Aaron needs to come up too to do the charcuterie. Aaron, do you do any primal butchering or anything like that? I'm curious. I know he's not doing chef stuff anymore, but I'm curious.
Gulf Southern Living. Hello, sir.
That's a new name. Gale's Southern Living.
Gale's, I'm sorry. My glasses should be here soon.
So yeah, so it does not taste good. And I'll tell you why I know that. It's not like I chug it. I like to use Melaleuca for cold sores. It is very effective for me if I feel one coming and I can catch it quick enough. I can take some tea tree oil, put it on there, and it'll never come up to a full blister before it just disappears. I know a lot of people... It looks like a lot of people were raising hands that they've used tea tree. Tea tree is one of those that's anti this, anti that. It's antibacterial, it's antimicrobial, antiseptic. So the thing with Melaleuca, we use Melaleuca around here so much that like my bottle is almost empty. Like it has this much left in the bottom. It is extremely powerful. When I think of the word antiseptic,
Mama wants me to taste it again.
it is horrible. I would not. It's bad.
Does it have the
Yes.
so you can eat
Yes. No, don't. It's really gross. It is really bad. I told you. I told you. You all saw me say, don't do it. If I have to take you to the hospital again, even though we were very sure that that's not why he had to go to the hospital. But, so Melaleuca is, or tea tree. I'm so used to calling it Melaleuca. Tea tree oil, I warned you. Tea tree oil is definitely, Mama Z, you're right. It's good to keep bugs away. It is definitely, it is definitely an anti, what's the word I'm looking for? Insect repellent is what I'm trying to say. You guys totally like messed me up. A lot of people will use it for a sanitizer. So like if you put hand sanitizer and you want to put a couple extra essential oil drops in there, tea tree is an awesome one to do that. Another, chase it with a crayon. Another thing that I've seen people use it for, is for deodorant. So they'll make their own deodorant and they'll put tea tree oil in there. It's antifungal, it's antibacterial, so it helps to kill all of the stuff that makes the smell, right? So, anti-Jason. Definitely. A lot of people use...
My mouth feels really clean, though.
And it probably is a little numb. Does it have like a little...
No.
Like your tongue's not like numb at all?
Mm.
Yeah, I can't stand.
Well,
We use it in combo with lavender and eucalyptus. Well, that's interesting.
I love some eucalyptus.
Jason
you can't eat
won't
that
get
one.
thrush now.
Okay, I ate Melaleuca, so there's 31 thumbs up, and there's 35 people in here. Y'all gotta smash it. Smash it.
So, another thing that I've seen a lot of people use tea tree for is for skin. So, acne, people will use it in soaps to wash their face. Another thing is Melaleuca is very good for cuts and scrapes. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. It burns like a son of a gun. I mean, you know that it is antiseptic. When you put it on a cut, I'm telling you, you will feel it. But I have never seen anything that my girls, like, they get into some pretty bad stuff. I have never seen something get infected after they've put tea tree oil on it. And there have been times where they've had cuts and scrapes that they didn't put Melaleuca on or tea tree on, and they've come to me and it's got a little bit of heat or it's red. They put tea tree oil on it and it knocks it out. And the great thing about using tea tree for a cut or a scrape to keep it from getting infected is it's also got kind of like skin regenerative, like healing properties. So when you take that Melaleuca, and let's say like on my burn here, if I had taken and put Melaleuca on it after it was soothed and doing better, and maybe I had like the open wound from a 2nd degree burn, if I had put that on there, not only would it have kept it clean and kept it away from bacteria, but it also would have helped the skin to heal as well. So you know, Melaleuca is definitely something that you need to keep on in the homestead because hint, hint, because it is useful for, it is just like lavender for me at our house. Those two oils.
And lemon.
No. I mean, lemon we use for flavoring and things like that. But like,
and cleaning.
Those two oils, if the girls are like, ow, I cut myself, ow, I did this, ow, I did that, it's either grab lavender or grab Melaleuca. It's one of the two. I mean, to the point now where, I'll give you a good example. I couldn't find this. I couldn't find it because
it was in Carol's room.
It was in Carol's room. And unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you want to look at it, when you raise your children to know how to responsibly use these oils, they will use them. Mm-hmm. They will bypass, rubbing alcohol and hydrogen peroxide and go straight for the oils. And unfortunately, because they are teenage girls, they don't put anything away. So,
what's up, Morris Patch of
a lot of times I'll have stuff that, it ends up getting misplaced and then we find it later. Burns, lavender works really good, especially in conjunction with frankincense. You use those two together and
now
that's
is
very
nasty
helpful.
Tasting.
Yeah, we're going to do that one soon. We might do that one next week. So, another thing that people use tea tree for is for dandruff. Mm. So you can put it in your shampoo, and that helps as well. So you can definitely try that one.
So will it work on bad neighbors?
I mean, make them eat it. It might. It might.
Because I'm gonna need. If it does, I'm going to need some to fill up a couple of super soakers.
It's also something, like another good one is ringworm, because it's antifungal. What?
I just remembered why I shouldn't taste that one, because every time you
burp.
No, well, every time you bring up ringworm, I'm kind of like...
Yeah, so...
It's like patchouli with hemorrhoids.
So you can use tea tree on fungal infections. So ringworm, athlete's foot. A lot of people will take tea tree oil and they will put it and this is something I do. I like to get, Jason hates it, but I like to go get secondhand shoes from the Goodwill. And the reason why he doesn't like it is because his experience in the military, there were a lot of people that ended up getting foot fungus because they didn't clean their socks properly and things like that.
What is your favorite oil?
And so, I'll get that in a second. So,
I want to say mine.
Okay, you can. So, I will take shoes that I got from the Goodwill, and I will make a spray out of tea tree oil and rubbing alcohol, and I will spray that on the insides of the shoes and let it sit, or I'll put it on a washcloth, spray it on the washcloth and put it inside so it has a chance to kind of spread out into the shoes to kind of kill anything that might be a problem. And we've never had any issues with foot fungus at all. So,
so by tasting it, did I just stop myself from getting that hand, foot, and mouth?
Probably. You don't have to do that, Robin. Stop it. What? I don't have to do what? Buy secondhand shoes?
Yes.
Well, I mean, most of the shoes I get are really, really nice, look like they were worn once, and and then the girls really like Converse, And so they end up picking up a pair here or there. And we just spray them out real good, and they're usually fine.
Take the old insoles out, put new insoles in.
Yeah. So, what's your favorite oil?
My favorite oil. I have like two. And at this time of year, it's called the Holiday Blend.
Holiday Joy.
Holiday Joy, Holiday Blend.
There's two. They got crazy with it now. It's like Holiday Joy and Holiday Peace. So I think you like the red bottle. Yeah. Holiday Joy. Yeah.
It smells so good.
It is a very nice, really relaxing holiday smell.
Yeah, it's got like the cinnamon and the white fir and so good. Mm-hmm. And then the other time is just eucalyptus.
Yes.
Just eucalyptus. Robin got this new blend. It's like, what is it? Lemongrass?
Lemon eucalyptus.
Lemon eucalyptus. The lemon overpowers it.
But that's not a blend. It's not It's not lemon and eucalyptus. It is a plant called lemon eucalyptus. People think it's supposed to be, but it's not. It's totally different.
Why would you cross those two trees?
It's not. It's not a cross of a tree. It's a different type of
eucalyptus?
Plant. Mm-mm. So, do we use Young Living? No, we use doTERRA.
We use doTERRA.
I'm sure Young Living has a holiday blend. We have some Young Living people in here, so I think Anna does Young Living, so maybe she might know what it's called. But yeah, it's a really, really nice blend. Castrol GTX.
See, I don't like Castrol. That comes up your vowels and everything. I'm more of a Pennzoil kind of guy. Sorry, John Force.
I love Holiday Joy. Yeah, it smells really good. What's up, Kyle? So my favorite, and he surprises me. Because I just naturally thought he was going to say Lang Lang, but, you know. Anyway, my favorite oil.
No.
No?
No. You got too high of an immunity for that now because I like showered you with it. You would come in the house and I would be like a bishop or something from the Catholic Church. Oh, hi, ho.
So my favorite would have to be Clary Sage.
I mean, what you don't know is that I weekly go in there and inject your pillow with it.
Oh, I'm sure. There was one time I came home from work and I remember coming into the house and I was like, like out of the blue, out of nowhere. I'm like,
for those of you that don't know, Lang-a-Lang has the street name called the Boom Boom oil. Because it's supposed to make the girls want to go to the Boom Boom room.
I'm not crazy about patchouli. I don't like the smell of patchouli. My son loves Lang Lang and patchouli, the smell of those. And my favorite is Lang Lang, and that's true because Lang Lang is in Chanel No. 5. So, yeah. But I love Clary Sage, and the reason for that is that it has so many different properties besides just being like the woman's oil. And it's very soothing. It's got a lot of really good properties, and so that tends to be the one that I like as a single oil. Blends, there's so many different ones. Okay, so now that we've done tea tree, you want to finish up with our great story?
Well, how you say his name? Joseph?
Cigar Review Bowls.
Would you guys make our famous Christmas punch? Sure.
Never
Send me the recipe.
Yvonne Musk for men. Love that smell.
Send me the recipe.
Lang Lang just gives me insomnia. Really? Huh. How many deer have you killed this year so far?
None. Ask me how many times I went hunting.
None.
Okay, so obviously, so we can't use the tea tree oil on a bad neighbor.
No.
So we gave you the example of what a bad neighbor is and how it can really just mess up everything. Mm-hmm. And, you know, and if stuff goes sideways, that is definitely somebody, if you have a bad neighbor, that's definitely somebody that you have to keep an eye on, or at least have a contingency plan on how you're going to deal with this individual. Because 9 times out of 10, they're not prepared. They probably got a bare minimum of like 3 days worth of food in their house, you know. And so if stuff goes sideways, they're going to be standing around with handouts or worse, thinking that they're going to come in like John Rambo and try to take your stuff. But on the flip side, you know, we're not surrounded by bad neighbors. Mm-hmm. We have good neighbors.
And we are good neighbors.
That's right. What's up top? Whoop.
You know what, Broussard? I will try to make a video tomorrow. I'll try.
Yeah.
I will try.
She keeps telling me that too, Broussard.
It's hard. Real quick, before you get further in, Morris Patch wants to know what oil would you recommend for skin? Melaleuca is definitely one. Lavender is another. And that's one thing I didn't tell you. So tea tree oil can be used neat, meaning that it doesn't have to be diluted. But I would still do like a small skin test, patch test somewhere, to make sure that it's okay, that you're not going to have a big, huge reaction to it. But yes, coconut oil is really good for skin. If you don't want to get into essential oil stuff, it's definitely helpful. So, okay.
So you have the bad neighbor. I know I can call names out here. That I know that some of y'all got bad neighbors because we've talked about them. But on the flip side of the coin,
I think Brett did that just to watch me squirm. He likes to do that, doesn't he?
I told him to start calling you out about it. Mm-hmm. On the flip side of the coin, you have good neighbors, and you need to be a good neighbor. So what constitutes being a good neighbor? Well, for example, my neighbor back over here in the corner, because look, when you have a homestead this size, and you got a portion of it wooded, and your neighbor's homestead shares that same portion and leaves it wooded for a buffer for both of you, trees fall, limbs fall, fences get smashed, okay?
Dams build up and you've got water, we
had a beaver dam bust because of all of the rain that we got. And literally, had so much force, came down and bent up out of the ground, T-posts, and laid down some fencing. Luckily, we found it before the cows did. Mm-hmm. But I've had some trees and stuff fall down on some fences, and the cows found it before us. Mm-hmm. And they made it over to this neighbor. Daisy was notorious. She was absolutely smitten. And I've never seen this in any type of livestock before, but Daisy was absolutely smitten with his Hereford bull over at Mr. Adams's place. Mm. She would jump the fence, jump his fence, go in there, get her some McLovin, and then wait for us to come pick her up.
Pick her up. She needed a taxi. She needed an Uber back.
Yeah, she drank too much and needed an Uber. She couldn't make that jump. But, he never got upset,
We offered to pay for feed or do whatever, and he's like...
Yeah. And we would bring him some pork or some beef, and kind of like barter for the service of his bull, even though he didn't want any of that, or my neighbor over here, when they would come out, they would call, hey, your cows are in our backyard again, or in our back pasture.
And they never did any damage or anything, but they were just trying to give us a heads up, like, hey,
mowing the grass.
Daisy's back there mowing the grass. You can, and I love it. It's always, It's not a big rush. They're not close to the highway. They're mowing my grass. It's okay.
Yeah.
You don't need to come over here. You don't have to come over here in a hurry.
And then sometimes they'd even come down and help us repair the fence. You know?
And they would most definitely help us keep an eye on them to make sure that we got them back in the fence. Like, they've come down in their truck and barricaded to help us get everybody moving. I mean, they were,
amazing, right?
Didn't she like to do that at night? Yes. She would disappear at night.
You know, and then we would get it, you know, they'd invite us over for barbecues, or they would take us out to the little spot at the lake, you know, and in return, we would do things for them, you know, just...
And you don't really keep track.
Yeah.
You just do, you know, if somebody needs something, you help.
So, case in point, my neighbor's son calls me and is like, hey, we got some pigs out down the road from you.
Got a report.
Got a report of some pigs out. You missing any? I don't think so. Let me go look. What do they look like? They black and brown. Black and tan. So that's my colors. And so went down there. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little piggy, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little piggy. Nope, I got all mine. And he said, huh. And then he made a comment. He goes, you know, Mama's got some pigs. I said, you sure they ain't hers? And I said, and he goes, no, I ain't sure. I said, well, look, I'll ride down there to your mama's place. Let them know I'm coming so I don't get shot.
Now, it makes more sense that they would have been ours than hers because of where they were.
Yeah. Because they were like a mile down the road that
from
way,
us.
Which meant that would have made them almost 2 miles from their place if you go by the road.
Right.
And so I was on my way down there, and he called me back. Their mama's pigs. She just called. They got out the other day.
They got out yesterday.
And she's been calling for them.
She hasn't been able to find them.
Now, I need y'all to understand something. My neighbor, she's empty nesting. Okay? So her pigs her animals are her babies now. And so she spoils these things. These were 2 Vietnamese pot-bellied pigs, okay, and so and he goes, "There's Mama's." And I said, "Well, I'm on my way to see if I can give y'all a hand." He's like, "All right." So I'm driving in the Prius, going down to where they were. They were all the way down by the little pump and shop, choke and puke, whatever this little gas station.
And now back up just a teeny bit. That day we were planning on butchering a pig.
Yep.
So we had water going, fire ready to go.
Yep.
And keep in mind what transpires in this story and how that affected our day.
And down there in a little Prius, there's 2 Elbert County cop cars right there. And so we're all looking at these little tiny things, and they said, "You gonna put them in that car?" No, I'm not putting them in that car.
No.
But my buddy pulls up and he says, "Mama says if you just call them, they're gonna come." So their name was
the Greenmobile.
Wilbur and Jasper, and they weren't coming for anything.
And they weren't feed.
They weren't hungry.
They weren't hungry at that point, so they weren't feed driven. Real quick, Morris Patch of Heaven. She hasn't used it, but Mama Z's has. So, Misty, if you can answer that, maybe you can help her out some.
And so we're down there, and we're trying to catch them, you know, throw them in the back of a truck. Because I went back to the house. I got the pickup, the little farm pickup truck. We got this beat up all the snot and back. Went back down there with some feed. They weren't interested in the feed. So we try, you know how they say how you catch a unique rabbit? Unique up on it. Well, we was trying to catch unique pigs. And we was uniquing.
And it was him and Dessa and 2 cops. And an old man. Wasn't there an old man or somebody? No. Okay.
And so Dessa and I got really close. Well, the one cop, I guess because of where we live, they deal with livestock out a lot.
A lot.
So the one cop this other cop in his truck carries a lasso. So the one cop went and got said lasso. He didn't know how to use the lasso. Every time we get close, he'd sling that lasso and it would hit the pigs.
Off.
And pew! And I was really wanting to say, man, you throw that lasso one more time. Anyway, long story short, my neighbor came down there and they were not coming to her. We had them all riled up. They were not coming. So all of a sudden, Dessa got kind of frustrated, and she let them get past the gate, and they hooked, and they started like they were walking home. And I'm like, all right, let's walk them to the house. Whoosh.
And Jason is no, stranger to walking animals back to their houses, right?
So here we are going up the Elberton Hartwell Highway. I got my 4-ways on, going up the wrong. I'm in England, driving up the wrong side of the road. I got my daughter and a cop back there pushing the pigs up. We're just going, and then another cop's along the side of the road with blue lights on, everything, right?
You said every time.
And so I would jump up ahead and get into somebody's driveway so that way they wouldn't hook that fence and go down to somebody else's place. We'd keep moving them down the road. Well, for something happened that they went to alley-oop and turned back around, went down to past. They got behind us and the cop. They darted across the street. And so I was like, okay. And so I darted across the street, and so we were just going fine. Now the cop was riding along the road, right? And anytime that they looked like they were gonna come towards the road, he'd flip on a siren. Boop, boop, boop. Pigs would take off again.
Hold on 1 second. Morris Patch of Heaven. For anxiety, frankincense is really good. Lavender is really good. Clary sage is really good. Believe it or not, wild orange is very good. There's several that are really good for anxiety. Vetiver is a really good one. Cedarwood is a really good one. So there's several essential oils out there for anxiety. You can actually put it on like a diffuser necklace or a diffuser bracelet or something like that. Put it on his clothing. And those kinds of things. You don't need to have CBD oil for anxiety. You can certainly, if it doesn't work as far as, not being able to use CBD because of work, those are alternatives that you can certainly use. Go ahead.
And so I know it had to look comical as all get out. We were walking these, just walking the pigs. So
and they're only about this big.
And so I looked at my neighbor, and I said, look, let's just get them back to my place. I said, we can throw them behind some electric fencing. I said, they're getting overworked, they're getting heated, they're starting to foam. We need to let them rest. And my place is a heck of a lot closer than yours. And
we have the fencing, so we can get them set up.
Boom. And so we got them.
Leave it alone. Go ahead.
And come in there, and we got them in, locked everything down, and wabunga, right? They started to lay down.
And they were calm.
And I said, well, you know what? Let's. They're going to be fine. Her husband is also a police officer, but he's also works at the fire department. So he was on shift at the fire department. There was no way he was coming home. And I said, look, we got him behind the Gallagher stuff. It was absolutely hilarious watching them learn it.
Yeah, because they had never been.
They've never seen it, and they kind of looked at that fencing. And were like, ha 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 ha, you stupid fat guy. This is nothing to us. And then they touched it, and it zapped them, and they were like, yeah!
Because they had the girls put the big charger on there. I mean, you could hear it pop. Like, it was loud.
And so we finally got her to calm down and to trust us, which was a foolish thing.
Serenity and Balance are good, Mama Mitzi. Those are both really good ones.
That her pigs were safe. And so we left them in there, and we were going to just let them calm down. But I noticed, because now, this is where we messed up. We put them, like, we have first Oink right here, which right now is housing Leia and her babies. And then we had the charcuterie brothers right over here, and we put them
right in the middle,
there,
between the two.
Stupid. It was absolutely stupid on my part. But my major concern at that point in time is I wanted to get them to some shade. I wanted to get them contained because I really needed these pigs to relax and drink a little bit of water. Mm-hmm. When they got over there and not thinking, and then all of a sudden, Brussels started coming up, and they all of a sudden thought they was the VC or something. I don't know what these pigs were thinking. But they started talking smack to the charcuterie brothers, and the charcuterie brothers were looking at them like, I poop bigger than you. But
and to be fair, right now we have sows in heat. So the boys, the charcuterie brothers, have been kind of rowdy anyway. Like, they're not worried about electric fencing right now. If they want to get out and go harass the females, they don't care about getting shocked right now.
The charcuterie brothers remind me of the tag team wrestlers from the 80s. The Road Warriors.
They go different. They're
because
crazy.
One of them,
Scarface.
Call him Scarface now because he went down there and tried to pick a fight with his daddy. And his daddy was like,
I brought you into this world. I can take you out.
Let me just show you what the old man still has in him. Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, everybody seemed to calm down after a little while. Well, we went in the house. Okay? We grabbed something to eat. Then me and the girls took off to go fix the fence.
From the morning. Right.
That we found. Because we were looking for our axe, and this is the same area where I got struck by lightning. Mm-hmm.
And then I came home early from work, so I was going to work on a video. Like, I had a video I was going to put out.
And so, all of a sudden, across the 2A radio, Robin's like, so, charcuterie brothers are out, and...
No. See, and that's where I think this is the issue. In my head and in my ears, it sounded like this. Hey y'all, the charcuterie brothers are out. Can somebody come help me? Then I turned the corner, and not only were the charcuterie brothers out, but the two... And I had already heard the story about how difficult it was to round them up, to put them... So I was in a panic that they were going to get loose, and that we were going to be chasing them again. And so I'm like, hey, the... Potbelly pigs are out too. Really need some help up here. So then...
we start beating feet. We just got done. Those of you that should remember this that are in the Marco Polo group, because I was just showing the Marco Polo group everything that we had going on down there, and then the damage from the rain from the big beaver pond. And so we started, I said, Carol, go run. Carol was the fastest. So Carol took off. And then Dessa took off. And then I kind of wobbled. Wobble.
Did y'all ever hear me say anything else after that? So nothing else came across the radio?
No, I don't think so.
See, and that's why I'm curious, because I think in my panic, I changed the channel on accident. And so I don't think anybody was hearing. Like, and this is like, hindsight after the fact, I was pissed because my husband should have been running to come rescue me, because the panic in my voice should have set a fire under his butt that he should have beat both girls up here. And when he didn't, it made me think there is a very good possibility that they did not hear me on the radio. Because what ensued after seeing all 4 pigs out was horrific. It was really bad. It didn't turn out bad after the fact, and thank God for hard, tough pigskin. But when I turned the corner and started to walk up to try and separate them, big boys went after little boys, and they all 4 of them have tusks. And when I turned, they must have gotten into a scuffle before I saw them, because when the beige one turned to look at me, he had blood on his face. but it wasn't like he was bleeding. It just looked like he had been in something that was red. And then I watched two big guys, like, basically playing keep away, tossing piglet, or, you know, these Vietnamese potbelly pigs up in the air, throwing them around, gashing them. I mean, it was bad. I tried to get in between them, which is never a good thing. I would not recommend it if you've not been around your animals for a very long period of time. I just knew what I could get away with. Thought I knew what I could get away with. But I grabbed a huge stick and ended up having to crack both of them across the nose to get them to back off. Scarface stayed with me, and Easter went down to y'all. No, the other way around. Scarface went down to where he normally goes, because he was like, screw this, I'm going down to go see the girls. And so he took off down the dam, but Easter kept looking straight at me. And I had never seen this behavior before this year, but for some reason I watched, you know, normally pigs, they root up with their nose. I watched these guys, they were kind of stomping and pulling up dirt, like almost reminds me of like how a dog does after they've gone to the bathroom and they like kick up their back feet, but this was their front feet. And so it was very intimidating to me because it almost looked like a bull trying to get ready to come charge you. And so I ended up having to crack him across the nose a couple of times. Then the girls started to come up. Carol was pushing one up. We pushed them back in. As soon as I separated, the Vietnamese potbelly pigs went back in and like chilled. They were like, we're not getting back out. And so then we pushed the other one, and then after that was done, I pretty much, like, my legs went to jello. And I fell down and was like in full hyperventilating, gotta catch my breath because adrenaline was so, you know, it was pretty bad. So anyway, but then we had to, because then that had eaten up daylight as well. So then it was like, okay, we can't keep them here overnight. They will kill them. Like, they would have killed them. If we'd have kept them there, they'd have been dead in the morning. No problem. Yeah. So, in the dark...
we loaded them up. We got them up in the crate, and then we took them over to our neighbor's place. And...
Good night, Josh.
And we put them back in their pen.
And they weren't even home. Like, we took them back. Yeah.
Boom. Took care of it. Blam.
No big deal.
Got a text message from them, you know, the next morning. Thank you guys so much. Love you guys. Blah, blah, blah. And that's what good neighbors are supposed to do. You're supposed to watch out for one another. You're supposed to be there for one another. You don't have to hang out with them 24/7 and be besties. But, you know, if
somebody needs some help,
neighbor needs some help, and you're able to provide that help, there's nothing wrong with providing that help. I'm not saying you gotta empty out your cupboard, you know, if they're starving or something, but if you got a little extra stuff, I mean, that's what neighborly things do. Help them go fall a tree, help them set up a raised bed, help whatever it is that they need help with, a ride to work, you know, or whatever.
Or to, you know, break in your window and go turn off your stove because you forgot to turn your stove off.
Yeah. The weekend that Apollo died, we called them because Odessa, we all just said, you know what?
We got to leave the house.
We got to leave the house. We got to get out of the house. And we decided to go to the Irish pub. And on our way, about... I don't know. We were already in Anderson.
So we were like 40 minutes.
40 minutes away. LaDessa. Oh no, I think I left the stove on with the tea, for the tea.
Because originally it was just going to be me and one of the girls going to do grocery shopping. And then Jason was like, no, I got to get out of here. Let's all go. And so it kind of threw things off.
Yeah.
And we had to, you know, she had started a pot for tea and forgot about it.
And so I called him down there and told him, hey, you know, look, this is what happened. Can you please go up there and check it out? and I still got to get him a key to the gate. And
Yeah, he had to
to jump the gate and all that, and then came in through the window, and the stove was on, and he shut it off. And so it's just things like that. You just have to be there for, and you have to be there because let's just be honest. If things go sideways, whether it's a hurricane, tornado, earthquake, depending on where you live, a tsunami, not any type of natural disaster, this pandemic, unfortunately, this is not like the 1800s and stuff anymore. Not all of us get to be lucky and have family within a 5-minute drive. Those of you that have that, I mean, you're blessed, and I know some of y'all planned it that way, and y'all are just brilliant. But your neighbor is going to have to be that person that you may have to rely on.
Right.
Because, as we all have youngins and they grow up and they move out, you kind of start doing that empty nesting kind of thing. But, your neighbors are going to be the people that you mingle with. I mean, because let's face it, your home or your homestead is your biggest investment that you're going to make in your life. You do not want to be miserable because you don't get along with all of your neighbors.
Exactly.
See, with this Yahoo up front, I got time on my side. Okay? He doesn't take care of himself health-wise. He's in his middle to late 60s. I got time on my side. He's not in the best financial situation because the moment they get a bunch of money, they go spend it on a big toy. Like he just bought a new truck, and it's one of those things that he's doing the American dream, living on the credit kind of thing, And so if we hit the next Great Depression,
right,
he's going to be one of those that are going to be suffering. And this is where I get to have probably the world's largest in-your-face, F you, whatever you want to say about it. Because if that kind of stuff does happen, I'm not going to let him starve. I'm going to take him some food.
Good night, Granny Frammy.
And as he sits down to eat that food, he's got to remember where it came from. And it may not be he may not be the type of person that it bothers him at all. But he may be the type of person that goes, I was a huge schmuck to this guy, and he's now keeping me and my wife alive. And so that's what being a good neighbor is. Even though he almost shot at my dog and possibly shot my daughter if he would have pulled the trigger, if things go sideways and I catch him where he's about to starve, I'll take him a meal or two. I'll be that good neighbor. And it's not because I want to get some type of payback or some type of a joy out of the fact that he's going to have to eat the food that I provide him, and he might have to kiss my butt. But it's because of that's what God tells us to do. We're supposed to love our neighbor. We're supposed to treat people how we want to be treated. We're supposed... Jesus came down all about love. It was all about love and forgiveness. And so I want, whether he's a believer or not, I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Because I want him to see Christ through my actions.
Right.
I want him to see that going to church and just checking off boxes don't mean anything. You can go and check off 800 million boxes, but if you're standing before God and he says, "Depart from me, I do not know you," what good were those boxes that you check off are really doing?
Right.
And I'm just going to be doing my best to try to do what God tells us to do and be that good neighbor to all of them. And you guys need to do the same. This country is hugely divided right now. And what's going to bring us back is not going to be the fat butt that sits in a chair behind a big desk in a white building on Pennsylvania Avenue. Mm-mm. And it's not going to be these yahoos, because everybody's looking at the state of Georgia right now.
Yeah, because we have a runoff.
Because we have that runoff. Any one of the four are not going to do anything to bring this country back together. Okay? It's going to be we the people. We the people are going to be the ones that bring this country back together. And how we have to do that is by being good neighbors. Mm-hmm. By being good neighbors. Let these bad neighbors see Christ through your actions. Let these bad neighbors, don't give them power. And that's the thing that's very hard for me to learn, because
That's really hard for you. You struggle with that.
I struggle with that daily. Because the moment he said what he said, I went through like 60,000 different scenarios from that day until this day of what, if he did A, I was going to do B. Mm-hmm. If he did C, I was going to do D.
Yep.
You know, and that's great preparedness-wise. But I still gave that situation way too much power. Mm-hmm. I gave it way too much authority in my life. And by devoting time to that nonsense up there, it took... Now, listen to what I say. Don't think that I'm not going to do stuff to protect myself. I've already got things in motion to kind of take him completely out of the scenario no matter what happens. Mm-hmm. They just were down. There were things that we were going to do that were kind of low on the priority. They just got bumped up. I'm not going to give that situation any more power. Because by devoting that kind of time, it took away from me making videos for y'all. It took away lang-a-lang time with my bride. It took away
processing a pig,
processing some more chickens, which in the long run is going to cost me a little bit more change, because these animals still have to eat. And I'm the one that has to feed them. Whether it's energy in moving chicken tractors, or bringing slop, or picking the bug infested stuff off of the garden and taking to them, or it's feed that we buy from the feed mill and taking it to them. I'm still having to invest in that because I gave this yahoo too much of my time. Mm-hmm. So don't dwell. What I'm trying to say is, don't dwell on the bad neighbors. Don't give them a lot of your time.
Hey, what's up?
Okay? Don't give them a lot of your time. Don't take your eye off the ball. Okay? Always keep your head on a swivel.
But don't let it consume
you. Because that's time that is being taken away from you getting your preps in order, mm-hmm. from you getting your security for your homestead in order, for you getting all of your stuff in order. And so you just be the good neighbor. Keep the eyeball on the bad neighbor, but don't let him consume you.
D, that's a really good way of putting it. You cannot allow him to rent space in your life by him causing you stress. It's not worth it.
Exactly.
Definitely. I agree.
So, good, there's that old saying, good fences make good neighbors. Okay? And that's exactly how we're really going to fix this situation.
The strategy.
I'm going to be putting a newer type fence up there across the top. He can't see what's going on down here. We'll have a little surprise across the top of it in case somebody wants to be stupid enough to climb the fence. I already got it cleared.
Good night, Teresa.
I'm within legal limits to do so. Okay? But your livestock and your livestock, your chickens, mm-hmm. ducks, goats, cows, we gotta keep them in too. Because like the law in Georgia is you cannot, like if a cow of mine runs out into the road, gets hit, and God forbid it kills somebody, I can't be held liable.
If you have reasonable fencing.
Because as long as you have reasonable fencing, it's called an act of God.
It's an act of God, yeah. It's not...
Tree falls.
Right.
They jump fence or they just plow through it because some yahoo dropped his dog off because he can't take care of it anymore, and he went to chasing the cow. So I have a decent perimeter fence. It needs tweaking in some places. But I also use Gallagher. I use a smart fence for the cows. We use the goat netting for the goats and the
chicken fencing.
The chicken netting for our chickens.
Mm-hmm.
Good fences make good neighbors. That's the reason why that we used Gallagher as our sponsor spotlight this evening. We love for you guys to go check them out. I've got nothing but wonderful, wonderful things to say about their systems. Their chargers are awesome. I have not found one yet, whether it's bought at Tractor Supply, ordered offline, or Premier One, that can hang with the Gallagher fence charger. Okay?
So that segues into, right before we say goodbye, Gallagher is running a promotion this month. And I don't even know it's this month. It might just be till tomorrow. They've got a discount on their poultry netting.
Now, I want to interrupt for a second. This is kind of awesome because people seen that we were winding it down and we went from like 33, 34 people, and since we got 27 now. So you guys, you 27 that have hung around, y'all are getting the inside scoop for this contest, and this is no small contest.
So on Instagram, if you follow us on Instagram, you'll have seen the post that we made a couple days ago. Gallagher is giving away a $250 Visa card. Now, they have given that to all of the channels that they sponsor. And they are listed on this Instagram post. Now, one of the cool things about that is you can then go to all of those other ones and participate on their page as well. And so you can enter, on everybody's channel and get all the different, chances of winning. So in order to participate, you have to like the post, share it, and you have to follow all of the other pages that are listed, and comment. Now that's the most important part, because the comment is to let us know why, if it's you're nominating somebody else to get the card, or if you want the card, why you think you deserve it, or how you would use it, or something along those lines. So if you've liked the post but haven't commented, you can definitely go back and do that. The cutoff is tomorrow. So after tomorrow, we will make a decision on who gets the card, and we will announce that.
And each of the other channels are going to be doing the same thing.
Same thing. That's what I'm saying.
And look, don't be one of those people that go over to these other Instagram pages and like them and follow them until the contest is over and then unfollow them. That's just wrong. Right? Because I know there's folks out there that do it. And I have a running tally. You'll never win anything on this coming from Big Bear. I promise you. You'll never win anything from Big Bear Homestead if you go over there and you just, like, for example, VW. You go over there and you follow VW Family Farm and you don't win on VWs and you just unfollow them. That's not cool, y'all, because that hurts the channels. It hurts the creators because it messes with the algorithm. Okay? So...
Well, and it's not like you're liking some page that you're not interested in their content. I mean... Yeah. Even though it's Instagram versus YouTube, it's still, you're going to see pictures of gardens, you're going to see pictures of livestock, you're going to see content that is still homestead related. Yeah. So to me, I look at it as, because that's one thing that we were looking at is that we have grown like 60 or 70 followers since this happened. Mm-hmm. And that was one thing we were talking about as well. You know, we better make sure we're putting out good content, because now if that channel's not, or that page is not putting out anything.
Yeah, you stick. Look, that's what I was getting. I was waiting for it to go. You stick around for a month or two.
Yeah. And
you know, maybe they do something that offended you and you
right.
leave.
Yeah.
That's cool. But right. I'm literally talking within like 2 or 3 days after the contest is over.
Done.
and leaving. You know, no, that's not cool.
Yeah.
You know, because there's a lot of folks that did that with our email list. Mm-hmm. After that one big contest was over, they just unsubscribed. Well, they will never win. Ever. And, you know, if you get upset by that, I'm sorry, but it's just, you know, that's just the way I look at it. I mean, we're the ones that are putting all this stuff together and networking with companies to be able to do that, and you're just going to show up just to try to win some free stuff? No, you're just not going to win here. You might win at somebody else's channel, but you ain't going to win here. You got a goose egg, don't you? So, funny story. Funny story. Somebody came into the wood shop today.
Oh, you act like I'm never in there. Come on now, give me some credit.
And well, during the week you're not.
It's because I'm at work.
And was trying to help, and she was plugging something into the generator. Well, one of her daughters pushed the generator a little bit too close to the joiner.
Oh, yeah, to the joiner, yeah.
To the joiner, and when after she bent over to plug it in, and she stood up. Well, the fence for the joiner has this where you can adjust it forward, backward. You can do the angles. Well, the lip was sticking out. And somebody went, ka-dong.
It hurts. Like, it's super tender.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Robin, did you get my last email? I'm pretty sure we did. What's up, 180? How are y'all doing? I haven't seen any more videos from them. Have you?
Ding!
Has he put? I don't know if he has. Follow lots of people. There are multiple methodologies to defer a feline. Exactly. Exactly. Yep. Yeah. And that's the thing is, like, I will look at people's content. Like, I won't just be like, I'm going to follow this person. I will, like, look through their stuff and see if it's something that's going to, you know, hold my attention, you know, and really in Instagram is a little bit more of a passive social platform. So to me, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter how many people you follow, because all that does is just gives you more news feed to like filter through. So to me, that's not really. No, I've seen all of those ever since you left your house, but I haven't seen. I've seen through the Ozarks. So have you done anything since then? So anyway, but with Instagram, it's a little bit more passive, and you don't have to give nearly as much of your time as for YouTube. So that's my preferred method of keeping tabs on my friends and have information to be able to strike up conversations with them and to kind of know if there's things that they're going through. I can usually catch that, you know, because a lot of people will put a picture, and some people will write a novel. Some people will write 3 or 4 sentences. Either way, you know, I tend to scroll through the ones that have like 5 million paragraphs. But
see, I like to read those.
Yeah, I'll scan. I'll scan it and be like, this is worth reading. Okay. It's not worth reading. Just keep scrolling. So, but I do like being able to keep, because I'm very visual. So, like, I could see a picture and I can remember, like, oh, this person has these goats and this person had a really bad week with their vegetables last week or whatever. And Jason will be like, how do you even know that? And I'm like, Instagram. So, yeah.
So, yeah. Follow lots of people. Mm-hmm. Share your knowledge.
Definitely.
And because I'm subscribed to a lot of people, and I hit all every time the bell comes up. I hit all because you would be surprised that sometimes, what videos will come up, and it would be something that you weren't really thinking about. It's just the Charcuterie Brothers. I'm the big pig. No, I'm the big pig. No, I'm the big pig. Well, roll over. No, I don't want to roll over. You roll over. That's all that is. Okay. Unless there's a dog or a coyote or something out there. And because, let's be honest, you can have 500,000, 1 million subscribers and not know a daggum thing. You're great at making videos and entertaining, but at the end of the day, you don't know anything about homesteading. And you could have 2 subscribers and be absolutely
You could have
brilliant.
none. You could have none. Not
Brilliant.
even be doing a channel. Just having a channel name so you could participate and be more knowledgeable than some of these that have 1.5 million subscribers. I mean, that's one of the things that I've really loved about all the different conferences that we've gone to. And one of the things that YouTube has done for us is for us to meet people that are like never going to do a channel, but they've had a garden since they were young adults. They've, gutted animals and processed their own meat for their entire lives. And they could tell you so many things, so...
So don't always look at the number of views or the number of subscribers. Some people are just getting their feet wet with YouTube, and they're very hard to watch. They get monotoned, or they get this, or they get that, and you kind of want to just like, I mean, we were probably that way, and
Sure.
probably still am.
We probably still are.
But they're packed full of information, because it's like the professor said in the chat. There's more than one way to skin a cat. And just because it works down here in northeast Georgia doesn't mean it's going to work in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And so that's why I, if I meet a new homesteading channel or something, I subscribe to them, and then I go and watch. Now, if they ain't putting anything out, then I remove them.
Right. If you haven't heard from them in a
Yeah.
while and they're not putting out content.
Yes.
D is exactly, it's very true. She is somebody that just has a channel name so that she can participate in chats and watch YouTube videos. She knows way more than most that I talk to on a daily basis. And she can tell me things that, most people don't know. She's from an older generation that knows about canning, preserving, all of that stuff. So, it's very helpful to have, don't alienate yourself from people just because they don't have subscribers. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. So that way, when these conferences and stuff start kicking up again, Homesteaders of America, Homesteading Life, we're going to try to have a little bit of a get-together midsummer, fall here. Don't just, go ahead and fangirl over Robin if you want to. Just leave enough room. And,
leave enough room for Jesus.
Leave enough room for Jesus. But mingle and talk. You'll never know the wealth of knowledge that you can get.
Well, I think for a long time, a lot of people thought you were the only one that really knew anything because you were doing all the videos and putting out all the content. And then I started visiting with people at different, events, and it's like, whoa, wait, what? I'm like...
Yep. I absolutely love the Bearded Butchers. They have a knife sharpening video from
I don't mind watching them either.
right here.
They're very informative.
They have a nice sharpening video that's really good.
I don't even watch them. I don't even know what you're talking about. I just saw Terry say something about them. And so I know if Terry's reacting, I know that that's what she meant. So, anyway.
Well, here it is again, 2-hour live stream, just like Daryl said when he reviewed our channel on Thursday. He's like, "Yeah, you haven't stopped at 9 o'clock since
ever."
Ever. Y'all, I'm gonna try to get some traps out this week to try to get the trap line going this week. I'm probably just gonna start with some coon cuffs and kind of get them out. And try to bring you guys along. I may do a
vlog
style of what did we catch this week near the end, stuff like that. I've got to at least target this bobcat that's coming around.
We got some raccoons getting awfully close to the chickens.
Yeah.
So we got to thin that out.
We got to thin them out. So that might be coming up this week. You know.
Yeah. I'm hoping to be able to take y'all tomorrow when we do our pig butchering. We're going to probably just a small, I'm not going to do like a big, this is how you do it kind of thing. But we'll probably have some footage from that as well. Hopefully.
I'm probably going to put out a how-to video with it. So you'll get a little bit of the footage from her, but then you'll probably get a decent how-to video, how to butcher a pig from us. We just kind of have to dance around the gory parts because of YouTube. And that's about it. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yep.
So thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us for these 2 hours. They just fly by. Mm-hmm. Remember, be kind to one another. Love on your neighbor. Be that good neighbor like what we talked about tonight. And recycle, reuse, repurpose. Mm-hmm. Prepare. We live in uncertain times right now. We don't know what's going to be on the shelf, what's not going to be on the shelf. Okay? So start putting some stuff away for a rainy day. Mm-hmm. Okay? Robin and I also want to remind you to plant smiles.
Grow giggles.
And harvest the love, baby. Yeah. If you guys want to know what we think about the Gallagher Smart Fence system, the link, as soon as this is all done processing and YouTube lets me put it up as an end screen, will be at the end of this live stream. Or I think it's called, I think the video is called "This Will Change Homesteading Forever" if you wanted to go check it out. So until next week, y'all have a wonderful week. God bless, and we'll see you next time.